Lisa Fratelli to come back because she has such an interesting story about how she helped to heal herself. And I want her to not only share that, but she's also going to tell us about what's helping her right now stay healthy as we move through this current crisis. So, Lisa, welcome.
Oh, hi, Elsie. Thank you very much for having me. What's helping me through this crisis is, well, it is the supplements that I've been taking from Shackley for years. And right now, I'm just going to, this is one of the supplements, one of the things that they're talking about. It is a super immunity pack, and it's on the Shackley site. And of course, I drink my smoothie mix every day,
Yeah.
and I take liver detox. And I found Shackley. It's a 100-year-old company. I wrote a book about it, Me, Money, and Mold. It's on
Mhm.
Amazon. And I found it almost 6 years ago now, when I found you also, Elsie. I found it because I was very sick. I was a trader, and at the time, um, it was after 2008. I got sick in 2013, and they didn't know what was wrong with me. I went to 14 different doctors or different medical people. I didn't see you then, Elsie. I found you, thank goodness, after that.
Right.
But I discovered that I needed to change my diet. It was mold, black mold in my office, and I had toxins in my body. I had heavy metals in my body. I sat in front of 6 different screens for many hours a day for 11 years. And it was high stress. And I'm sure people are going through extreme stress right now. When you're going through stress, everybody knows it. You talk about clarity, chaos through, what is it that you say, Elsie? But we're stressed, and we don't know how to
What
find our,
you're right. You
yeah.
you don't know how to bring it down.
Yeah.
Lisa, can you move over just a little bit because my
That-
smaller picture, nope, the other
how's
way.
that way? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. A little bit more.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we can see you full, my
Okay.
picture up on the screen.
Okay.
Yes, um, stress affects us, and we're all dealing with a lot today, but even more with
Yes.
this crisis. So go ahead. Let me see the book again so we can
Okay.
see that full.
Sorry.
Great.
Yeah.
Me, Money, and Mold. I
Money
love
and
the
mold.
title. Yeah.
Yes. So it is, mold to me was, I found a lot of people who were suffering from mold, toxins, chemicals, pollutants in our world. And it's a scary place to be. You're fixing your house. We left our house, and you don't know what's happening to you. You really don't. And medical doctors didn't seem to have the answer for me. And I had to say, when I found out about Shackley, Dr. Shackley recently, he was a chiropractor who was born with tuberculosis. I didn't know any of this until very recently. And sorry, Elsie. And I didn't know any of this. He was born with tuberculosis, and he became very sick when he was treating patients. He used to do x-rays, and he got cancer in his arm and in his leg. He went to a clinic, and the Mayo Clinic told him he needed to have his arm and leg amputated. And on the train home, he said, that's not going to happen. And it didn't. He became well through the products that we still sell today, all the things that he discovered. He was believed in going back to nature many, many years ago. He lived to almost 100 years old, and he was a young man when he got sick. And they didn't expect him to live, that many years ago. He was born, I think, in 1895. So he is a testament to getting back to nature. And all these, I know you know this, Elsie, it's a very crowded field. It's not regulated. The nutritional industry is not a regulated field. So people, I think it's very confusing for most people. And Shackley came out with this most recently, this immunity pack, which if you feel that you need good nutrition, especially now, what's going on in the world, having a shake in the morning, if I do this, shake in the morning, and my strip of vitamins. Here's a strip that I take in the morning. It gives you complete nutrition. And I took a lot of things when I was sick from a lot of different people, and I had a lot of negative reactions from things. And I say that to people. Shackley is not scary science. It's forward thinking, but you won't feel like you're a chemistry lab, and it's like you're an experimentation happening. And you will feel energy, and well, Elsie, doing with the exercises that you taught me and the practice that I do, it helps you stay saner and grounded in, especially now with what people are experiencing. It's they're afraid, and I can understand that. When I was sick, I was very afraid. I didn't know what was wrong with me, and no one was giving me any solace. I was looking for answers. And I found that in your practices, and I found that in consuming these products, and that's what the book is about. Is I say mold was a euphemism for me not taking in all of life, and I know it's a real thing, but I felt that it was me against the world. It was like, I can't, what's happening to me, and I think people feel that right now. And I think all the more reason why people really, really need to know what these products do for them, can do for them, and what you do, Elsie. Combined, it's a winning. It's a feeling of, believe it or not, serenity. You're okay. You're more than okay. It's a good feeling, and that's what I think people need. They need to know that we'll get through this. They're going to be okay. So,
Well, Lisa, part of what I have to say, whoop, I have to move to here. So part of what I have to say is that I know you to be a great researcher. I mean, you really research things. And I remember you telling me that before you went to this first meeting at Shackley, that you actually went because a friend kept bugging you to go, and you really thought, gee, if I just go to this one meeting, she would stop nagging me about
yes,
it. But then you did all the research, and you are, a very, very strong research person.
yes.
So say a little bit more about that, because that's sort of what spurred you on to write the book.
It is. Well, I have a background I have a scientific background, biology and psychology. I studied it in college, and I worked in the mental health field before I worked in the financial field. And I, I just believe that that we are what we eat, kind of thing, and we are how we think. And I saw that we are how we think when I worked in mental health. And I didn't know, Elsie, sometimes you don't know what you know. You're kind of following the breadcrumbs, like, this doesn't feel right. And I just got out of whack when I was sick. But I did a lot of research. When I first went to that meeting, I met Roger Barnett. He's the man who owns the company. He is primarily an investor. He was an investment banker. He wanted to. His son got very sick with chemicals and pollutants from the cleaning supplies. They also have a line of cleaning supplies that you can. It's all natural. Been like that forever, and he bought the company. He wanted something that would last generations, that would help people. And they have, Shackley has a model right now that they want to turn the health industry into the wellness industry. And all the more reason to just look into I mean, I didn't want to go to that meeting because it's a network marketing business. It doesn't feel like that to me at all. It's what I do. It's part of who I am. And I know a lot of people have been turned off by those businesses, and rightly so. There's a lot of businesses right now that are going to be going out of business, and businesses in this field are going to be going out of business because of what's happening with the economy in the world, not just our country. And That's something people might want to be cognizant about, that there are things that they might be consuming that they will no longer have available to them because the raw material is not there, and it won't be there for, I know that sounds like a scary thing, but that's the reality of some things. So I don't know, Elsie, did I answer your question?
Yes,
I,
yes.
I did a lot of research myself, and because I felt like a chemistry lab, we are, like I always say this, we are um, mere, we're chemicals talking to one another, in our brain. Um, we are mere chemistry labs,
Mhm.
walking chemistry labs, you know. I know we're more than that, but that is the basis, one of the bases of who we are. So when you talk good, when you say good things to yourself, it's a good thing.
So, Lisa, I know that you began doing podcast almost every day. So tell us about the podcast and, how people can listen to your podcast, I think, right for free on your website.
Yes, the podcasts are on my website, Free the Wiz. It's scrolling there, freethewizard.com. And it is anchor.fm. And if you download that app onto your phone, you can participate in the podcast with me. I'm going to start a new one, Elsie. And I have the name of it in my head. I've had it for a long time. And it's going to be more uplifting. I talk a lot about the courses I teach. And of course, mold is the health part. And I don't talk a lot about money, very little. Because I know it's very confusing for most people, and that's, I'm back at it right now, trading because of what's going on in the market. But this one is going to be different. It's going to be about what people love. I really think people need to focus on the joy that they have in their life, and be grateful for right right here, right now, who they are and the people in their lives. And if you can't see them personally, you can always call them and do what we're doing. Um, so you can listen to the podcast is Me, Money, and Mold, and it's on anchor.fm. It's on Spotify, which bought anchor.fm. I believe it's on a lot of them, Apple Podcasts, Google something. It's in a lot of different places, and it's free. So, yeah.
Lisa, I know that we spoke a lot about the mold, but one of the things I wanted to ask you, and I had a question here come in, how do people get tested to verify that their issue is mold? Because you talked about going to a series of doctors and nobody could figure out exactly what was wrong, why you were having these breathing issues, all the things that you struggle with. And, they sort of looked at you like this all had to be in your head.
They
So if
did.
somebody was suspicious of the fact or discovered they had mold in their house, what kind of steps would they take to determine if that's the real issue that they're suffering with physically?
Well, in the book, there is a man that does the testing, and he would confirm what's in your house. He is, we are in South Jersey, so his name is,
Yes.
it's AccuTest Mold, and it's in the book, and his website is accutestmold.com. His name is Jay Connors. He's a very nice man. He tested the house with the mold. He actually came here and tested this house. um, he's very nice. And he will tell you what you have. And then I went to Dr. John McGrath in Marlton, and he'd seen this before. He said, I bet you've been to a lot of different doctors. He's an allergist, an ENT, ear, nose, and throat, a cosmetics, plastic surgeon because of what he does, and something else. There's 4 board certifications. Um, he was the last doctor I saw. And after I'd been to many people, and he said, I bet you've been to a lot of people and they told you were crazy. And I looked at him and I said, yeah, they did. And because I was in my 50s at the time. And he said, well, you're not. I had a deviated septum, which was something, internal in my nose. and he fixed that with surgery. But I was tested for everything I was allergic to, and I was allergic to all kinds of mold. Um, I had a cat for years. I was allergic to cats, all kinds of things. I take allergy shots every week now. It's once a week the first year. This is his protocol. I don't know what other allergy doctors do, but and it's every other week for the second year, and it's once a month for the third year. And I know there's people in my neighborhood that have been going to him for years, years,
Mhm.
and it makes all the difference in the world because it changes you biologically. I believe it creates your immunity. They're giving you what you're allergic to. So the first 6 months isn't fun, but we're going to be approaching allergy season. And for years, I was addicted to nasal spray. I talk about it in the book. And it was an addiction I didn't want anybody to, because I was ashamed of it. I couldn't breathe. Um, and also with what I was eating. Um, lots of sugar. I drank red wine. I exercised, but occasionally. And the stress that I lived under was horrendous. I had a lot of family issues, what I did for a living, like a lot of people. And my body was just, I had enough. It had enough. Like, I better figure it out. And going to Dr. McGrath gave me a lot of hope that I could see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Mhm.
And of course, doing what I do, my practice, I call it, my energy medicine, what you taught me, Elsie, is grounds me. I've been teaching it to my kids.
Good,
Yeah, yes. My
good.
granddaughter, my kids, anybody that, come here, let me show you where your spleen is.
Mhm.
I do. I think, hey, why not? Nobody teaches you that. You don't learn that in
Mhm.
anywhere. You don't. Um, so
Yeah.
Dr. McGrath, he's in Marlton. And then you, Elsie, I can't not say that. I mean, he's the Western medicine side of it, but understanding your body and energy is really, it's, I was always very science based. And even when I was around money, and I think that's why I got sick. I didn't realize the power that I had within my own being. Um, and that I had people tell me I had done that to myself. I got sick. And of course, you don't want to hear that when you're sick. Like, okay, well, if I did this, can I undo it, please? Um, and, the things that you teach, Elsie, I have to say that it is truly, everybody should learn this. I really mean that. Like, everybody has a body. They all should understand we hear about it. Even people in your field, I think a lot of them, I remember steering away from people. It's like I had a major sixth sense when I was sick. It was like, no, get away from me. People who didn't really have your vested interest. I sensed it when I was sick, was because you get pretty real when you're not sure you're going to be here. You kind of have this major sixth sense of who to listen to and who not to listen to. Um, because it ends up feeling like survival, whether it is or not. That's what you're thinking at the time. And one of the things that mold toxins do is they help you. Then, excuse me, they don't help you. They create a confusion because it's toxins go into your head. They really do, and it's a scary thought. And I couldn't think straight when I was getting sick. I couldn't concentrate. I was depressed. I didn't know what that was wrong with me. And then, of course, it led to not being able to breathe. It felt like somebody was sitting on my chest all the time. Couldn't catch my breath. Very scary place to be. I'm sure people who are getting the coronavirus feel like that right now. I hear about it. They're in ventilators. Um, you know, One of the things I have to say, I need to say this. This is a Shackley Basic G. It disinfects. It kills the coronavirus. I didn't know that. I've been using it for years. I put it in my laundry, you clean hard surfaces with it. And it's on here. There's information from the CDC of the virus that it kills, viruses and bacteria. And it's in the immunity pack that they're selling right now. It's a packet,
Mhm.
a bundle. Yes. So, and Nutriferon, I have to say that I don't have it in front of me. I thought I grabbed it. Nutriferon is in a little bottle like this,
Yes.
and it is the stuff that was invented by a Japanese doctor many years ago. It's all, this is non-GMO, beyond organic, meaning they know where the stuff is sourced. They own farms. They test it all the way through production and after production for contaminants. No, there's no other country, excuse me, company out there that does the testing that Shackley does. And so I consume all of that on a daily basis, and I would never be without it. It's for your immunity. And everybody knows now, I guess, their immunity's in your gut. So it's imperative as to what you eat. Good stuff.
Well, one of the things that you were just talking about, is about that energy medicine and teaching those things. And with what we teach, we have that kinesiology, that muscle testing, so people can actually see for themselves. Okay, I hold strong here, and when she does this, I go down. But if I use that exercise to correct it, I stay strong again. And furthermore, you have this available to you 24/7 with your own hands. You can get up and do those exercises
Yeah.
every day and balance out your energy and just work with whatever you need. So it really is, I agree with you. It's wonderful to know those things, and we should be teaching our kids. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we don't, and you can do it remotely, Elsie, can't you? I mean, you can teach
Oh
people,
yes.
they don't need to
Yeah,
be in front of you, right? I mean, if
right.
we are all connected. Everybody's saying that on the TV, and it's really true. And we, even with social distancing, we can still connect with people. I mean, we have the technology to do that. So, and not just the technology, we have the frequencies to do that.
Frequencies. Yes.
Frequencies to do that.
So if we say everything is a vibration, then what
Yeah.
we're looking for is how can we raise our vibration? And we desperately need to do that
Yes.
during this crisis. And I just want to thank Karen for jumping on. I love her greeting, morning goddesses. So that's great. Thanks, Karen. And she's kind of confirming everything you're saying about combining, Eastern, Western energy, everything that we need. So, how about some final words? I have your website, Free the Wizard, streaming across, but tell us a little bit more about how we can get in touch with you.
My websites, I've had several of them, and they have been in mass construction, deconstruction. Can I give my phone number, Elsie? Would that be a
Sure,
good idea?
absolutely. Yeah.
It's 856-725-9230. And I will return your call. Leave me a message. I've given out several websites and realized it's so much is in flux. And I know everybody knows that. Like, things change on a hourly basis with what's available, what's not available, who to go to. So if you give me a call, I will help you through, whatever I've said to purchase to the doctor. I know Dr. McGrath, I was there on Wednesday. He's seeing patients. I have to say, I went in, I got my shot, and I left. I was like, bye, to the great staff. He has a really wonderful staff. I will say that also. They're very warm and welcoming people. They really are. He's a great doctor. Doesn't make you feel like I had a lot of people say, I was nuts because I'm a female. You're nuts. So you're not nuts.
Well, this has been great, a great way to start our Saturday morning. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. And Lisa, I will, add your phone number again. Give us that one more time. I'll try
Okay.
to add that to the streamer.
Okay. It's 856-725-9230.
Great.
My cell, and just leave me a message. I will call you back if my daughters are texting me. I haven't seen them in a couple of weeks, and I see my granddaughter, and we communicate texting. Thank goodness for texting.
Yes. Okay, everyone. Lisa, thank you for joining me this morning.
Thanks,
This is
Elsie.
Elsie Kerns, and I invite you to explore with me the benefits of energy medicine and chaos to clarity coaching. So take care, everyone, and have a great weekend. It's going to be a reflective one with social distancing. So let's all take a little quiet time for ourselves and some self care. Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Elsie. Have a great weekend.